What's up, YouTube? Royal Flush, Draco Rex, Asian Gambit. Good evening. Sorry I haven't been around for a while. Haven't had shit to talk about. Oh shit, you know what I mean? I got shit to do, man. You know what I mean? Long, exhausting day, man. I know Sunday might be a simple ass day for most motherfuckers, but I don't think there's any day of the week where I don't have shit to do. You know what I mean? If you don't have multiple sources of income, then you fucking up. So, but I got shit to talk about tonight. Usually, I mean, lately I haven't got shit to say about shit, but recently there's enough shit to talk about. So we back in here. Not too long though. I expect motherfuckers to be out there playing games and watching movies right now. But Mortal Kombat 11, at least we have games to talk about. So Mortal Kombat 11, I love it and I hate it at the same time. It's a weird feeling, right? I'm not even that big of a Mortal Kombat dude, right? I don't really like Mortal Kombat that much. Yeah, man, all kinds of shit. So it's cool. I just want to run this real quick because I got shit to say about the recent happenings. Right? Mortal Kombat. I actually love Mortal Kombat 11, and I also hate Mortal Kombat 11. I love it because I feel like Mortal Kombat 11 to Mortal Kombat dudes is like Devil May Cry 5 to the Devil May Cry dudes. You feel me? The amount of fan service, the amount of shit they throw at their fans, like I can appreciate that. I even like the story, man. I know Mortal Kombat started from an ignorant ass place. It did, but over the many incarnations that it has, it gotten a decent lore going for itself. Even though the lore is goofy and ridiculous. So just to see the amount of shit they are willing to do just to put a cohesive story together, just to retcon the whole fucking thing at the end. There's multiple endings, so it depends on which. Liu Kang is a beast in the game, not from the fact that he's the protagonist in this one, which he's supposed to be usually, right? But it's because his gameplay is fucking ridiculous. So if you want me to like put a, a simple number on Mortal Kombat, if you guys just want like a Metacritic score on Mortal Kombat, for me, I would give it an 8. Personally, what up, Jamal? I would give it an 8. I think it deserved an 8. Right. The reason why is because it the my problem with Mortal Kombat, and it's all Mortal Kombat. So realistically, I have a bias against Mortal Kombat already. It's not looking good for Mortal Kombat. And the reason why I have a major bias against Mortal Kombat is because I don't like the way the game plays. It always seems so clunky, and the characters doesn't seem to move naturally as you play the game. Like most other fighting games, when you pull off the fighting moves, it looks like the characters are actually fighting. Even simple as 2D fighting games, right? They always look like the fluid animation of it and shit. You know what I mean? Damn, it's a 5. I'll get to that, man. I'll get to that. Right? I'll get to why I think it's an 8. Like I never like the way Mortal Kombat plays. I always feel like the best way to put it is like I always felt like Mortal Kombat is like a Michael Bay. You know what I'm saying? It's like a Michael Bay fighting game, right? All flash, no substance, because the shit that's in there, it's cool and whatnot. It's over the top, ridiculous, gory shit, right? But the gameplay in a fighting game is what's most important, right? It's the fighting in the fighting game. Like I'm sorry, like at the end of the day, the fighting game, um, it's like for me because the fighting in Mortal Kombat, I feel that it's bullshit. I just don't think it's a good fighting game. And the reason why I copped this iteration is because I fell for the marketing. They said, oh, this is gonna be different, because of course they say that in every fucking game. They say that with every Mortal Kombat iteration. It's the same motherfucking shit every time. But they say it's more footsie based and all that bullshit, right? and it's not. It's the same motherfucking shit. Like they well not all, but they say that they're gonna lean more heavy on neutral game, you know controlling area, like all that shit. But it's not really true. Motherfuckers have like all kinds of 50-50 mix up, right? And the characters just move slow. They just move real slow for me. I don't know why. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the way Mortal Kombat feels and play itself. So that alone, because that's my personal opinion, I took 3 points off of that shit just for that. Because that's like the meat and bones of fighting games. Low key, I want to take four off, but I'm giving it a three off, right? But for everything else, it did exceptionally. I took another point off because microtransactions, the way they did microtransactions. What's up, Lay? I know, right? It's been so long since I did a motherfucking podcast. Motherfuckers forgot I did one. Nigga, I damn near forgot I did one. Oh, that's right. I got a podcast. I could talk about the shit I'm thinking. No, but so Mortal Kombat, I give it an 8 just because the strong nostalgia factor they bring to you. Like they actually like made all kinds. If you a Mortal Kombat head, you would love it. You catch all the references. You'll like all the Easter eggs and all that shit. You know, I'm not even that big of a Mortal Kombat dude, but I grew up alongside Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat came into existence when I was a kid, and it has how many games now? 11 plus all this other shit, all this other side shit. So there's a lot of stuff that came along. And for people who stayed with it for that long, they deserve this game. Now, I give it an 8 personally because I think that the story actually they weaved a decent story from the convoluted fucking background of the characters. The characters' fucking story is like convoluted as fuck, but they weave a decent enough story to retcon the whole thing. So I'm hoping the next iteration they really retcon the shit. Like they will actually revamp all of Mortal Kombat. But of course, it's not gonna happen. I feel like the best Mortal Kombat can do is get an 8 for me. It would never be able to do better than me because if they change it, it won't be Mortal Kombat anymore. And motherfuckers who love Mortal Kombat would hate it. That's what I'm thinking. If they make Mortal Kombat more of a like a true neutral game kind of you know fighting game, I don't think motherfuckers would like it. Motherfuckers buy Mortal Kombat for what Mortal Kombat is, the over the top shit. Critically though, so that's my personal opinion though. That's an 8. If I want to give it as a critical opinion as possible, I'm giving it like a 6 because of like all the foul shit. Like there's a lot of foul shit in the game, man. The marketing, the way they market the game to out to be something that's not, because it's not. When you play it, it's totally different. Just because the presentation is good doesn't mean it's better, right? It's a 6. Microtransactions nuts. It costs you thousands of dollars. Now that may not be true. And here's the thing with the combat too. Even though I say that, I'm still gonna play Mortal Kombat because I want to get good at it. I'm not the best at it because like I've been mentioning, I'm not really a fan of Mortal Kombat. I don't put hours into it, but I'll still play it just to get decent. Just to get decent. Like, because I don't want to like be a complete noob at a game and play it, and they were like, "Man, that's because you garbage at it." No, I'm not garbage at it. I just don't like the game. You know what I mean? So I can still get decent at it. I'll see if the game has any depth. See if it proves me wrong. But as of right now, that's how I'm feeling about the game. You know, nigga, Liu Kang had an overhead pop up. This man is fucking OP as fuck. I don't mean he's OP in the storyline. I mean he's OP as fuck in gameplay. Liu Kang is ridiculous. Liu Kang has 50-50s, like a couple 50-50s. Matter of fact, it depends on which iteration you pick. There's different 50-50s you can use with him. This motherfucker have a pop up fucking overhead. If it hits you with an overhead, he pop you up for a free juggle, bruh. You know what I mean? Just shit's wild as fuck. Like that's like this is a fighting game, bro. But then again, it's Mortal Kombat. That's what you come. You go to Mortal Kombat for that type of shit. So it's understandable. I can't even be mad at it. That's how I personally feel. But 6 is what I'm giving it naturally. What's up, Titanfall? I'm surprised y'all around, man. I'm surprised y'all not out there playing Days Gone or watching fucking Avengers and shit. I was expecting to talk to myself for like an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? It's probably won't be no hour and a half. It's probably just gonna be an hour. I don't have that much shit to talk about. But yeah, man, Mortal Kombat, I give it a 11. I give it a 8 out of 10. Mainly, I mean, I feel like if you were a Mortal Kombat head, you would give this game a 10 out of 10. If you bypass the microtransaction bullshit and the character roster, the way it's set up and all that shit, it's just whatever. You know, I mean, you would give it a 10 out of 10. Me personally, I was never a fan of Mortal Kombat the way it plays. You know, so I just never got into it. But I understand if you like Mortal Kombat, you would love that shit. I mean, I'm not even that big of a Mortal Kombat dude. And just playing through the story, I was like, yo, that's hype. You know what I mean? There's certain yeah, I mean, there's certain parts that, like you like, oh, that shit's hype. Like there's callbacks to the movies, old games, the fatalities, like, all that shit, all that nostalgia shit. And I get it, motherfuckers will love it, love it. I can understand. But critically, it's not a great fighting game, and that's why it'll never like no Mortal Kombat game I think can ever be a 10 out of 10 for me personally because if it sticks to its own combat system, the way it's built from eons ago and shit back in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? It'll never be able to like win my heart over because that's just not the like it's that clunky ass kind of you know Mortal Kombat feel like it just never leaves. I don't like it. And personally, I'm not really a fan of fighting games that have block buttons. I don't like block buttons. I like back and down back. That's what I like. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just a personal preference. I don't like block buttons, but maybe I'm just not just need to get good at block buttons. Right? I like Tekken much better now that it has, no block button. It's just back. But maybe I just need to get good with it. Maybe that's my problem. What's up, Cyber Dragon? Man, there's actually people here, man. I haven't done one of these in so long. I thought y'all forget because I forgot that I do these. I forgot I have a podcast and shit almost. That's because usually I don't have much to talk about, so I just don't do it. I'd rather just play games. But that's how I feel now. On to Days Gone. Man. I haven't played Days Gone that far in to even critique it that far. But if y'all want a short answer for me, it's also an 8 out of 10 for me, personally. Um, it's not really the you're not gonna like put this game next to God of War or Horizon or any other shit and say it's on par with all of these. It is not. Now, let's be real. It's not. Personally, myself, I'm not really feeling the main character. I don't like his voice. I know that's just a personal thing, but I don't like his voice. I feel you, OJ. I don't like dude's voice. I don't know why. I feel like he needs to have more white boy bass in him. You know what I'm saying? His voice. I feel like this dude, his voice doesn't match his character. I feel like he needs to have more white boy bass. You know what I'm saying when he talk? I don't I don't know why, but I don't like his voice, and I don't like his decisions. Early in the game, I don't want to spoil nothing, but early in the game, he was like, "This, shit went down." He was like, "All right, homie over hoes," and he just, you know, and I was like, "Wait, that's your decision? Like that's how you pick and choose? Like, all right, like I don't know if I would make the same decision as you make, but I, so I'm going in there a little hesitant. But here's the thing with me, right? I mean, I don't want to ruin anything for people because I don't want to spoil anything. So I'll keep it to I'll just speak about how I feel about the game. I won't speak about what happens in the game. That's the only thing. If anyone played the game, they know what I'm talking about early in the game. That's he did. And I feel you, OBJ, but I'm just saying. There's I mean, I know you have a split second decision to make that decision, but I don't know if that's the decision I would make. I'm not saying it's a bad choice. I'm just saying I'm not vibing with the main character because I'm like, I don't know if I don't know if I would make that choice. You know what I mean? Like I mean, you can't be mad at him for it, but I don't know if I would have made that choice. That's what I was saying. That's just a personal gripe. But me, I feel like his character because his character the way it is, I feel like he needs to have more bass in his voice. I feel like his voice doesn't match the character. I don't know if it's the same dude who does the voice acting and the the mocap. If they do mocap, I don't do enough research in this game to know. But here's what I will tell you about this game, right? What I like about it, it does its job well enough to make me feel like I'm in this bullshit. Right? The way it looks is amazing. And what I mean by the way it looks, I'm not talking about uh graphical fidelity and all that shit. I don't really know much about graphical fidelity to tell y'all about that shit. Motherfucker talk about 1080 Ti, it sounds like a car to me. So I can't even like, is it turbo? Is it 10 to, you know what I'm saying? 1080 Ti, is that turbo? Or is that supercharged? I don't know about that shit. What I know is it looks like this world is real. You know what I mean? Just the clothes, the fabric, just the shit that goes on in the world, it sucks you in. You actually want to go through the world and shit. So I guess it's job done with that respect. Now I personally have not ran into any bullshit bugs and shit. I've seen plenty of people talk about it. I'm sure there is. I just haven't ran into one. I guess I haven't ran into one yet, but I didn't play it on day one. Played it day after day one. So I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's day one shit was wilding or if the patch fixed all that shit. I don't know. But what I want to say is, does Metacritic matter when it comes to Days Gone? Because Days Gone got a 72. And me personally, I would have give it, as of right now, I'm not too far in. I'm probably like what, 4 or 5 hours in. I'm not too far in, so I don't want to like put a score on it. I don't think that's fair. I'm personally liking it right now. I feel like the game is, um, in a way, it's not like Red Dead at all. Thank God. I don't think it's like Red Dead at all. I didn't like Red Dead. I think Red Dead gameplay is not fun at all. It's not entertaining. I gave Red Dead a 7 at best. I'm just being real. I give Red Dead a 7 at best. I don't think the story in Red Dead was great, and I don't think the gameplay in Red Dead was great. Matter of fact, I think the story in Red Dead is better than the gameplay, and I don't even like the story. That's how bad the gameplay is. That's my opinion, of course. You know, you take that for what you will. But Metacritic is basically a collection of opinions. It's not even the common consensus because it's not. It's more of an average, and an average doesn't mean common consensus. But even if it is, right? Even if it's the common consensus, that's fine because that's what cult classics, those how cult classics are born and yada yada yada. Well, whether Days Gone is a cult classic or not, I don't fucking know. I'm just saying there's different tastes, different things like that. So do I think it's a 72? No. As far as right now, I don't think it's a 72. I don't agree with that, but I can't really tear it away because when they gave what God of War 95, I agree with it 100%. You know, I think it deserved like a 95, 96, no question. So when they gave this a 72, I don't agree with it, but I'm not gonna like act like that's no, like they wild and all kinds of no. That's collectively on average. That's what critics have to feel about it. But you see, that's when it comes to that type of shit, you gotta ask yourself, how do you feel about critics? Which critic do you listen to? It's always been that way. If you like read the review, right? There's some reviewers you follow, some you don't, because you trust that reviewer or you agree with that reviewer's opinion and yada yada yada, right? So if you read that motherfucker's review and he say he dislike it, you probably gonna dislike it because you and him or her have very similar mindset, right? And that's fine. But to look at a number of 72 and say that game is completely garbage, I mean, that's kind of silly, first of all. Secondly, though, you can't discredit that and then credit another number, right? So, I mean, you're gonna have to hold that 72. I still like the game, but hold the 72. That's what the game got. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's not a great game, and it doesn't mean it won't sell well. I'm just saying it got a 72. You're gonna have to hold that. That's the average of what people think, or at least critics. The only problem with that is me myself personally, I'm not a fan of critics, that does games reviews because I can't really trust them. I don't trust, food testers that don't have taste buds like you know what I mean? They don't have great palates. I can't really trust you if you can't, eat some food and tell me, like if you can't play a game, you're basically a food tester or not a food tester, a food critic that don't have good taste buds. Like it don't make sense. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. Like I'm sure there's reviewers giving out there giving it nines and tens, and I don't even believe it deserved nines and tens. Now Metacritic does matter, to be honest with you, because people use it as a tool to, you know, judge whether they might get a game or not. It's just one of the things they use. But that's okay. You know what I mean? That's just one of the things they use. Hopefully, it should be one of the things they use. It shouldn't be the only thing. And if you use Metacritic, at least read some of the reviews. Don't just look at the number and be done with it. Because here's the thing, like that average, I don't understand how you get an average like that if, you know, a game because I feel like there's a lot of games that got way better scores. Y'all know me, I hate Red Dead. Not that I hate it, I just think it's way overhyped. I went on for months just saying how garbage Red Dead 2 is. Some people till this day like hail it as like one of the best game of this generation. I'm sitting here like, bro, that shit was garbage. And I feel like that should deserve like a 72, you know. And I got a 10, so it works both ways. It's not just like, oh, I think this game deserves to be better when, you know, motherfuckers just tarnish the name of PlayStation games. Y'all might, take my pony card, my non-existent pony card away from me, but I don't think I don't think Days Gone is the best game ever. It doesn't do anything new, and that's true. It doesn't really do that many things that's new. It does give you but it does do its job effectively. I'll tell you that. It's a great, beautiful open world game, and it's crazy how good it looks. And when you surrounded by a horde, you fucking scared. Like it does its job, right? It does its job very well. I think it's an eight. By the time I finish, it might go up, it might go down, but as of right now, it's a solid eight. Like it's a good game. I think it's a great game. Personally, I think it does its job. It does what it's supposed to do. Yeah, man. I mean, realistically, yeah, OJ. I mean, this fucking game. It was an exclusive anywhere else. It'll be held to very low standards, and which is understandable that it's a PlayStation game is held to such high standards because we're expecting like good shit from PlayStation. You know, if it's a PlayStation exclusive, we expect good shit from it. So when it doesn't deliver, people are like, huh? Like they're calling foul here and there. But I hold that 72 for what it is. I know from what I understand now it's like a 75. It just keep on going up, but that's the initial reaction of a 72, right? It went up recently, but that's the initial reaction was a 72 or some bullshit like that. 72, 73, low 70s. And there's no way this game deserves a low 70s. I've read some of the reviews and I'm like, you didn't notice any of the shit you say in Red Dead Redemption, but you notice all that shit in this game, right? Of course, Horizon Zero Dawn is still, in my opinion, the best open world game of this generation. Just to regain my fucking, just to regain my pony card. I think Horizon is the best. It has the best concept, utilizing this generation technology. Story's good, animation and all that shit. The only thing that's lacking in Horizon is I wish Aloy has more melee combat moves. She just have like very simple melee. She has a spear, like you would think she will have like a little bit more melee moves than just like one or two. different attacks. But besides from that, that game's amazing. Days Gone doesn't come close to it. I'm not gonna dismiss that 72. I think that 72 is it deserving or not? I don't think it deserves it. I think it'll be an 80 at least. I feel like it deserves an 80, but that's the reality of the situation. It's 72. So, in my opinion, I want to ask more about critics themselves. Like, are we using the correct method to judge games here? Like, what kind of method are we using? Because Metacritic seems very odd and all over the place. Not so much the score because the score is just the average. It's just I'm talking about the reviewers in question. You know, when they do these reviews, like what do they have any solid criteria at all to what they use as far as the points they give it? I'm just curious to know about that shit. I don't know. That's I don't know if motherfuckers actually like have actual like things they use to measure what they could consider an 8 or a 9 or a 10 or a 7, right? Like what do they actually use? Because if one, I don't think any open world game has changed anything in the last 10 years. What has changed in open world games in forever? It's the same shit. Like it's just I don't know how. I mean, this game is an 80 or up. I don't know why it's a 72. I don't agree with those opinions, but I won't, deny them of it. I think 72 is what the average come out to be. Um, but I'm pretty sure the game will get a sequel. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day whether a Metacritic score, like what a game gets as far as Metacritic score. It's not going to affect whether it has a sequel or not. What affects it having a sequel or not if there's a fan base for it large enough for there to be a sequel. You know what I mean? If there's enough people who like it and they make enough money off of it, they'll do another one. Sony usually, don't don't keel over on an IP so easily. From what I understand, it's selling very well. It's actually beating out Mortal Kombat in sales. You know, which is nuts. It's actually doing very well in sales, and I think it's gonna get a sequel just from that, just from the fact that it's getting positive feedback from fans, not so much just reviews. Because there's a lot of movies that became like classics, and when it first came out, critics dogged the motherfucking movie. You know what I mean? Like, and there's games as well. There's people like dogged out, and people love it. Get sequels after sequels after sequel. So I don't think that's a concern. I think it's gonna sell very well. I think fans got and people who bought it like it. There's not a lot of people who say it's bad by any means. The worst I've seen is people like saying it's alright. You know what I mean? That's the worst you hear from people. So 72 and realistically 72 is not that bad of a score. It's just nowadays we have a rubric that we follow by apparently 90 and up is excellent, right? 80 to 90 is good. 70 70 to 80 is simple, right? And anything less than 70 is mad garbage, right? I'm assuming that's the rubric that motherfucker use now. Damn. There's certain things that you got a la carte too, OBJ. You can't do them all. Can't have Drive Club and GT Sport. Even though I'm not a driving fan dude at all. I'm not like a racer fan, so I don't play racing games like that. So I don't even have a dog in that race, bro. I don't really care. I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't have a dog in that race, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? I don't care for it. I didn't care for the order either, man. That's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of motherfuckers like it. I didn't care for it. I give the order a 7. I wasn't a fan. I really was surprised. I thought I would like it, but I didn't. I didn't like the order. I feel like the gameplay of it was lacking. I think the gameplay of the order like really really disappointed me. It was such a good setup, man. And then that werewolf battle, like that first werewolf, I'm like, that's all we doing, man. Like it's such a letdown when I played it. You know what I mean? I was like, that's really all we doing. And I played all the way past the assassination attempt and all that bullshit, and I just couldn't keep on going. Like I know it's a short game, I just didn't play it. But I feel like Days Gone deserved better than that. But that's just my own personal opinion. Now I'm only about what 4 or 5 hours in. Maybe shit may change. I mean, once I'm like 10, 20 hours in, I might be like, God damn, that yeah, they was on point with that 72. Or I might like be like, these motherfuckers blind. It's like at least an 85 or some bullshit like that. I wouldn't really know. As of right now, I'm enjoying it. It's doing its job very effectively. I feel like I'm surviving out in this bitch. You know what I mean? The bike mechanic is not like the horse at all. It's very straightforward. I need motherfucking gas. That's it. You just gotta get gas for this shit. You can upgrade the motherfucking. It's a simple. It's a very simple mode of transportation. It's not over the top shit. I gotta clean the motherfucking bike and all this other. You know what I mean? Don't have to do it too much. And when I hit something, it damages. That's kind of normal. You would expect that, right? Kind of be world breaking if it doesn't, right? So I mean, I like it, but are we saying that we're burnt out on third part like open world game? I mean, I still got it. Yeah, I might. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the order doesn't deserve a sequel. I feel like, a matter of fact, I'm asking for a sequel because I think they can do better. The setup is too good. Like the era that they have it in, like the lore they got. Because I like all that shit. It's just the gameplay. I'm like, just goddamn, man, this gameplay is way more boring than I thought it would be. Because when I first saw the trailers and shit, I'm like, oh, it's just gonna be lit. You know what I mean? Werewolves and all kinds of shit, and the gameplay really put me like let me down. But I really want the sequel though, because I feel like if they could do it right, that game could be amazing. They just need to fix the play mechanics. They need to do more with the play mechanics itself, the things you could do in the game, because it's really lacking. You know. But besides from that, I think they will have a winner. I mean, it looks amazing, even still, like even now, it still looks good. It's just the gameplay just couldn't like didn't hold me, and that's the first thing I look into when I play games, man. The gameplay. That's why Mortal Kombat would never get a 10 out of 10 for me because the gameplay is doo doo when you're talking about fighting games. And at the end of the day, after all, Mortal Kombat is a fighting game, not a narrative based game. You know what I mean? Yes, it had a pretty good story, but that's not the first thing you're supposed to look for in a fighting game. You're supposed to look for the fighting mechanics, and it's lacking, right? Days Gone, however, is I mean, it hit its mark pretty well, right? When you play the game, I mean, you can't tell me you don't feel like you surviving in that bitch. Out of nowhere, just you got ran up on by a horde of motherfuckers. You just like dip out and you like, fuck, I don't even know where the bike is. You gotta run back to the bike and shit as well. But I mean, Metacritic does matter. What's up, Vieira? I think it does matter. The short answer is it does matter. But what matter even more than that is how much you care to actually buy the game or not. If you really mean the shit, you know what I mean? If you really mean like, oh, I'm looking at Metacritics because I'm trying to decide whether I buy this game or not, and you don't read nobody review, you just saw a number, you was like, nope, because it's hard to win everybody over. That's why it's rare to have a 90 something game. You know what I mean? It's really rare to have high 90 games because you have to win everybody over, and it's hard to win everybody over. You have to win people of different taste, different walk of life, different everything. Because these motherfucking critics are just motherfucking people at the end of the day. It's all their opinions. So it's more important that you actually value certain critics' opinions. If you like value certain critics' opinions, you read their opinion and then you decide, all right, you know what this dude or this girl usually have to say, like match up with how I feel about shit pretty well, and you would kind of know whether you want to buy that game or not. Now, when it comes to when it comes to the crumb side of things, right? Does Metacritic matter or not? It does too. I mean, PlayStation dudes, we just gonna have to hold that 72. It's okay. It's okay because it's a 72 PlayStation game. You know what I mean? Just hold that. It's not so bad. Seriously, hold that. Hold that 72. I know it crept up to 75 or whatever it is now, but just hold whatever it is. It's not bad. You know you enjoy it, play it, but hold that 72. Why? Because, you know, you gotta lead by example. If you don't know you have a problem, how you gonna get better, right? So you have to lead by example because these Xbox dudes can't hold 60s. They act like 60s, like games in the 60s or like 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about that. I'm not saying the 72, oh, like Crackdown 3 is even worse. Of course it's even worse, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? A 72? Sex streaming? I ain't trying to be on here that long, man. I'll probably stream Sekiro uh Wednesday. I'm off Wednesday. Or maybe even Tuesday. Tuesday night after the round table, I might stream it. I don't feel like playing Sekiro tonight. Be real with y'all. So I want to play some more Days Gone. Only 5 hours in. I want to play the game a little bit more. So that's the mark of a good game, in my opinion. I want to, explore this world and shit because the fucking game is dope, man. The atmosphere it creates. Like I like that. I like the atmosphere of the game. Sony games do that really well. You know what I mean? They sell you the atmosphere. Like you really feel this shit. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do Sekiro tonight. And plus, I'm just trying to milk out Sekiro. I mean, if I beat Ken, was it Ishin? It'll be all over, right? And it'll be the end. It's kind of sad almost. So I'm gonna hold that until either Tuesday or Wednesday. But play some Days Gone, and I'm not gonna stream Days Gone either. I don't like streaming open world games. I rather stream like linear games. It's more fun, I think. I think it's more fun to stream linear games. I don't like streaming open world games because I'm too scatterbrained in open world game. I get distracted too easy. Shiny and shit. I'll just be running randomly throughout maps and shit. You know, I don't follow the course of the story and shit or nothing. So it's kind of all over the place, and I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that in the stream. Yeah, I mean, PlayStation held to a very high standard. I do. I hold. I mean, I don't know why people don't. Everybody should hold their console and game developer. You know, I do, man. When I play video games, I have hella ADD. I'm fucking constantly distracted in video games. But there's a lot of games out there that has just universal appeal. Like people just no one can knock it. It just hits everyone right. But it's rare, you know. Not all games would do that. It's just if you're not into these type of games, you're just not gonna be. I could tell you right now, if you like these type of games, Days Gone would be an easy 9 for you at least. Now, if you take all the glitches and shit into consideration, which I can't because I haven't faced any, and but I can't speak for everybody. That's just me. That's my experience. I haven't faced any in the 4 or 5 hours I've played. I used to playing bad games. You have an Xbox, Vieira? Oh, by the way, y'all, congratulations, Vieira. She got a job, making $30 an hour shaving llamas. So congratulations. Got that money. How do y'all feel about how Days Gone though? Everyone who got it, y'all like it because Days Gone like I predicted a high 80s, but now that I've played it, thus far, I give it a low 80s. It does its job well. It's selling me the story, and well, not the story, but the world that I'm in. It's selling me on it. I actually believe this shit. You know, I believe it. I like this world that they created. I'm not so much the fan of the main character. I like his design. I think he looks cool, but you know what I mean? I think he looks cool. I just feel like he needs more white boy bass in his voice. He doesn't have a lot of white boy bass. I don't know if that makes sense or not. His voice doesn't match the way he look. I like the way that he's designed. I just don't like the way he sounds. I don't like his voice actor. I don't know if they're one and the same or not. Then my fault, bruh. But I just feel like you too soft spoken. I don't know why he too soft spoken. I don't like that. I mean, I don't like that he's too soft spoken, man. You in a freaker apocalypse full of other bikers and other motherfuckers. Yeah, it's a solid 81. I can agree with that. 80, matter of fact, somewhere between 80 to 84, I would accept. I just don't think it deserves high 80s. I think Ben, has a little bit ways to go. It's pretty decent for their first attempt at a game like this. I can't even be mad. I would give it personally as of right now. I'll give it an 80 something. So I agree with you, OJ. I think that's where it should be. But I mean, I think people expect more than what the game comes with. Like, what do you expect from this game? It's built to be this type of game. And some of the reviews I read, man, I'm like, why are you pushing agendas onto game? Like, I don't want to talk about SJWs and anti-SJWs, but why is it so rampant, man? It's like, well, why can't you just enjoy the character? I don't. I mean, I'm not really a fan of this motherfucker, the way he sounds. But besides from that, the character's okay. You predicted 79 to 82, and it was a bad game, bro. 79 to 82 is a solid game, bro. I think it deserves a solid 82. Matter of fact, that's what I would give it as of right now. A solid 82. 72 when I first saw it, it was kind of polarizing. I didn't believe it for a second. I was like, really? 72? Because how and now that I'm playing it, I'm like, how is it fucking how is it fucking possible that this game got a 7.2 when Red Dead was damn near the game of the year? I don't understand. Red Dead was damn near the game of the year. Damn near. It was fucking touted. And the amount of problems that motherfucker had, the glitches and yada yada yada. Because I had glitches in that game. But of course I played through it long enough to know it had glitches. I mean the first couple of hours when playing it, I didn't have any problems either. So same as Days Gone. Yeah, bro. I'm saying OBJ. Like it's a mark of a good game. I can't stop playing it. That's why I'm not even playing Sekiro. I want to hop back on it and play it for a couple more hours before I gotta, wake up in the morning and handle grown man responsibilities and shit. But I'm just sitting here thinking about it right now. I'm still thinking about like playing this game because I really don't know much about the game yet. I'm only 4 or 5 hours in, but I want to know more. Now, if this game disappoint me, it would for sure deserve all 70 something because I expected this game to be a high 80, and I can live with low 80s because I think that's where it should be right now. But if it gets worse and worse, which I don't see it happening, I don't see it happening. But we'll find out here in the probably one or two podcasts from now. Once I get close to the beating the game or beating the game, we'll come back and revisit this shit. But the one thing I have a problem with is I think the way people score games, well, not the way people score games. The people who gets to score these games are mishandled. What I mean by that is, I feel like people who there should be a class for everything. You know what I mean? For every genre, for every genre, there should be a particular group of dedicated, dedicated critics that know about that genre well to be able to critique it, because you need to have understanding of it to critique it, right? If you don't play fighting games and then you review fighting games, that's retarded. That's retarded. Why would you? And please don't take retarded out of, like, context. You know what the fuck I mean. You know what the fuck I mean. You can't get someone who barely play a fighting game and tell them to, like, critique a fighting game. What the fuck do they know? Same way with this shit. If you have some dude that all they do is play, MMORPGs and shit, and then have them review fucking have them fucking review Days Gone, they gonna give it a low ass score because it's not they bag. Like, they don't play this shit, you know? Yeah, you heard me, coon. I said that shit. Yeah. You can't really I can't accept, like, I can't accept that type of shit. And you see it all the time. You see critics like say that shit all the time. Oh, I'm not good at this game, so but that don't mean I can't write a review on it and shit. I'm like, no, that's exactly what it means. And I'm not the, like, you know, I don't I'm not skill shaming. I think we're all garbage at games until we get good at it. You know what I mean? You're never good at a fighting game until you put hundreds of hours in, getting your ass kicked until you get good at it. That's just the way the game goes. You know. Same way with, like, hard game, quote unquote hard, difficult games like Bloodborne and Dark Souls and that type of shit, Sekiro, all that. No one is. I mean, well, let me take that back. Some people are naturally good at playing games like those. Some people are. Some people just. I don't know what it is. They just naturally talented at those type of shit. They just dope. But most of us aren't. Most of us have to, like, get good. Like, we have to learn how to play and shit. But that's like that's what I'm trying to say at the end of the day. Like, no matter how much, like, scores does matter, but of no matter how much you dislike or like a score, that's what it got. Whether you like the game or not, it's two very different things. That's why we have difference in opinions. If we all agree on shit, this world would be dumb. I don't agree with that 72, but I'm not gonna discredit it. I think that's just what it is, you know. But so with that being said, man, Royal Flush, Draco Rex, Asian Gambit. I'm going back to play the 72 ass game because it's dope. Yeah. I'll see y'all Tuesday. Roundtable. It's felt like it's been a while since I do a podcast. I haven't been doing that many because I've been playing games. I just don't have anything to talk about. But these recent happenings got me, wanting to talk about shit, and I feel like it's a good topic. Right? If you look at Metacritic to judge a game, what I would suggest is don't just look at the Metacritic score, read the reviews and see if your line of mindset also match up with those reviewers. You know, that's what I would suggest. Don't just look at that number, and that's basically it. But yeah, man, I'll see y'all later. Tuesday, and then I probably will stream the last fight on Sekiro. It's kind of sad, man. On Tuesday night, probably after the podcast. I wonder how many hours it's gonna take me. Um, I realize I have not taken over 3 hours to beat any boss in that game yet. So I have people told me they spend hours upon hours on certain boss, and I'm doing that. So I mean, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying these games, like, all you have to do is just learn it. Before I leave, I'll say this, right? Video games truly is like the best example, the best and maybe the only example that the journey is better than the ending. No matter how good a game's ending is, the journey should be always better because that's what you buy it for, the journey, not for just the ending. The ending is just the icing on the cake. The whole point of it is to play the fucking game. And if it's too hard, then then I mean, you're just gonna have to learn how to get there. Once you do, that's the journey. You'll feel so much better once you get to the ending. But all right, man. Enough preaching. I'm getting back to this. Go on. I'll see y'all later. There was this.